Right, well, this morning I'd love to introduce you to my colleague who I've known for actually about 14 years now,
Oh my
Julie
goodness.
New. I know. Morning, Julie.
Morning.
Lovely to talk to you. Now, Julie, you're a personal recovery coach. What does that mean?
So I have developed over a number of years a form of coaching so coaching is positive, it's solution focused, but I really wanted to specialize in personal work with people. So when somebody has been through a particularly difficult time in their lives, so it might be they may have been through a relationship breakdown, or they've lost somebody that they love, it might be that they've had an illness, or it might be a combination of all of those things. You know, you don't know what life's going to throw you, do you?
No.
So what I do, I come in kind of after the therapeutic journey. So somebody may have had quite a long time of looking at that situation. And what personal recovery coaching is I take over at that point to help people to really start connecting with themselves again, you know, because when you've been through a very difficult period of time, you know, you kind of lose a sense of who you are. Yeah. So that's kind of what I do. And I have a program now, which I've developed so it's everything I've done over 14 years with literally hundreds of clients. It's in a 6-month program, and it's just working beautifully. Really lovely. Yeah, really pleased with that.
How did you become a personal recovery coach? Because I know you were a nurse and midwife for 20 plus years. What made you decide to come out of that?
Yeah, I was
start on your own journey.
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge decision because, you know, I'd done really well in nursing, and I loved nursing. You know, it was part of it's the fabric of who I am, really. But I'd had coaching myself, so personal coaching, for quite a long time, and I'd used it for my work as well. So it helped me develop my nursing career as well. And it was actually my coach who said to me one day, you know, have you ever thought about becoming a coach? I was like,
no.
No. But I'd always kind of helped my teams, you know, to develop, and I'd always wanted them to grow. And so I thought about it, and I thought, well, actually, yeah, I think I'd like to do that. So I took a big risk, really, you know, put my 2 girls into one room, rented 2 rooms out of my house to make ends meet while I was doing my coach training. And yeah, so that's kind of what happened.
So following on from that, and obviously over the last 14 years, you've done all sorts of different things, and I know you've had some, you know, personal journeys. Back in 2012, you became an author and published your first book, and then more recently, back in December, you published your second book. Can you tell us? There we go. That wasn't staged at all.
There we go.
Brilliant. Yay.
That's a good one.
Tell us about those.
Okay, so in about 2008, I had enough money to brand my business, and I was branded with this bright orange sunflower.
I remember it. Yeah.
I know, I bet you do. So yeah, it started me thinking, well, if that graphic designer Susan thinks I'm a sunflower, you know, what are you, Louise? You know, I think I've asked you that question before, and you know, it set me kind of thinking about life, and how life's really like a garden. You know, if you don't look after your garden, what happens to it? I'm no gardener, by the way. People think I'm a really good gardener, but I say no, I'm really good at growing people, really good at that, but I'm not so good in the garden. Getting better, but you know. So yeah, I in the end, about age 11, I knew that one day I would write a book, and my English teacher, Mrs. Lowe, thought otherwise. So she kind of put me off, really. But then this little I made it into a coffee table gift book, And yeah, I was so proud of it, and people absolutely have loved it. Its purpose really is to make you think more deeply about your life. It's to help you kind of reflect a little bit on who you surround yourself with, people wise. And it's just been a really, really positive book for people. And then of course last year, well, about 3 years ago, I'd had some quite difficult times, as you've alluded to. And it was very obvious to me that my next book needed to be about grief. You know, the one thing in life that we are, you know, guaranteed is change. And one of those major changes in life can be losing a loved one. And it can be, and it is absolutely devastating. So I created this, and I'm incredibly proud of it. It's sold out of its first edition, and just before lockdown, I was about to, you know, it's being recommended by counsellors, psychotherapists, funeral directors, charities, crematoriums have it. Just a really small number, but I thought actually I could take it to a bigger audience. And then of course we were locked down, and I thought the last thing people want to be hearing about is grief, really, because it was pretty dire, wasn't it? So yeah, so I'm just in the process now of actually beginning to concentrate on that, on getting that book out there again. So I'm sort of
in that book, Julie,
yeah.
Correct me if I'm right, each chapter is actually about somebody's personal experience of grief. Is that right? No.
No, it's not. No. No, so the third chapter has 9 stories in it.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, so over 3 years I've interviewed different people, and what actually came out of that was, so it's for anybody who's lost anybody that they love, because I've included the loss of a loved baby, child, sibling, parent, grandparent, husband, wife, friend and pet. You know, and for those people to have shared their stories with me are just incredible. And the feedback I've had from people who've read the book, I feel really understood. You know, they feel understood by the people who have been there, and obviously through, but no, the other chapters have got, I've done a comparison of two there's a contemporary model of grief, and the one that, I mean, I've known about for a very long time, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. So people get an understanding as well, a really basic understanding of the kind of emotions that they're going to go through while they're grieving. And grieving is a never-ending kind of journey, but the pain, ultimately, it's a book of hope, because it's giving people hope that one day they will feel better again. One day they will feel joy again. You know, I couldn't be doing what I'm doing now, you know, if I wasn't back in that place again, myself. So, and you know, with my children as well. So yeah, so I think I'm really pleased. You know, I just want to reach as many people who are in that situation with this simple book, because yeah, it's just it's helping people. You know,
absolutely. So where can people get hold of that book? I think they can buy it online, can't they?
Like, you know, you can get it anywhere, you know, Amazon or whatever. But just to say as well, there's £1 from every sale goes to the Good Grief Trust. You can also buy it through I co-published this time with the Endless Bookcase, so you can actually get it through them. Okay. So yeah, you can get it anywhere. Same with my other book. In fact, as a bundle at the moment, you can buy the bundle and you get my first one half price. So yeah. Yeah, so, but any social media, yeah.
Okay, so Julie New is your website.
Personal recovery, yeah, julienew.co.uk, Julie New Personal Recovery Coach. I'm kind of everywhere, really.
Lovely to talk to you today, Julie. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lou.